This is Tom Fox. I live in the Texas Hill Country. On Friday, July 4th, Kirk County saw the worst flooding it has ever seen. At this point, as I'm recording this podcast, nearly 70 people have been found dead, and there are many, many more people still missing. I'm going to ask you to please consider a donation to the Hill Country Flood Relief Fund. I've listed it in the show notes. I know it's a little bit unusual to make this request, but I can't tell you the tragedy that has unfolded in my home county over the 4th of July weekend. Thank you for your consideration. And now, on to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News for July 22nd, 2022, the I-9 Hell Edition. And we begin with a story from the Financial Times, which reports that U.S. companies are being overwhelmed by the Trump administration's immigration audit paperwork. This is done to demonstrate compliance with what's called the I-9, and many companies have told the Financial Times they are stuck in, quote, I-9 hell, end quote, as they race to identify and fix errors on forms before receiving a dreaded notice of inspection. Employees under audit are given 3 days to hand over their I-9 forms and supporting documentation for all employees. Errors as small as forgetting to tick a box can result in fines that start at $2,861 per violation and often stretch into millions. So, document. If you haven't looked at your I-9s lately, check your documents. Next up, from Bloomberg, in performing due diligence is one thing, but you actually have to listen to it and use it. And apparently, Credit Suisse did not believe in that, because Credit Suisse did their own due diligence on Sanjeev Gupta, he of Greensill Capital, who imploded back in 2021, and over $1 billion was lost to the bank. And in their own document, a clearly found, quote, Sanjeev Gupta was a clear participant in the fraud, creating fake documents and creating an entire company called Liberty House, a group of companies known as Liberty House, which he used to defraud other creditors. Well, what did Credit Suisse do with this? They absolutely positively ignored it. So, it's one thing to perform due diligence, but you actually have to use it as well. We haven't even got to the point where the due diligence was bad. Next up, a second article from Bloomberg, a corruption probe over Milan construction has cast a shadow over the city's property boom. For the past decade, Milan has been in the grip of an extraordinary property boom. Now, a sprawling corruption probe into the real estate industry threatened to cast a shadow over Italy's financial capital. Prosecutors are investigating more than 70 people, including the mayor. What's the cost of a culture of silence? Well, unfortunately, it looks like we're about to find out, as there will be little discussion of safety at NASA going forward. This culture of silence has been in place since the Trump administration took over, and as everyone living knows, NASA has had massive accidents causing multiple loss of life. And NASA, because of that, NASA has an excellent culture of safety. But with this administration, safety apparently is not very high. Go figure. Over the July 4th weekend, we had perhaps the worst tragedy to ever hit my home county in its history over this weekend. And myself and my family are fine, but multiple others who lost loved ones, lost family members, are obviously not fine. So if you can find your way to help with any donation, I would greatly appreciate it. This is Tom Fox. Thank you very much.
The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.